In the last few videos I've demonstrated how to center drill, I've demonstrated how to face. I snuck one in on parting, which is a little out of order. That's a little more advanced than I've been doing on these recent videos, but nonetheless I did one on parting. Today I'm going to talk about the machining operation that the lathe was designed for, and that's turning. While a milling machine is designed to produce flat surfaces and linear surfaces like slots or steps, things like that, a lathe is designed to make round work. It's designed to make circular features, and obviously that's what it does best. So that's the next thing on our list, is to turn a round cylindrical surface. We have here, this is a piece of stock I've been using on all my videos. It's a piece of 1¼ mild steel stock. I think for today's demonstration we'll turn this down to 1 1/8. We'll take 1/8 inch off the diameter just to show you how it's done. So you'll notice this, the outside of this stock is rough. It's a milled surface. It's just the way it came from the mill that made the bar stock. It's not a very accurate surface. What we need to do is we need to machine that surface down to 1 1/8 diameter. And how are we going to go about doing that? Well, first thing we got to do is we got to select a tool. Here's a tool I ground just like the ones I ground on my video on grinding turning tools. This is a right hand turning tool. If you go and watch that video, it'll show you how to do it, and in fact there's even a reference page on my website that gives all the angles for the various materials. So grind yourself up a right hand turning tool and mount it in the tool holder. This one's designed to work perpendicular to the work. It's not necessary to make it perpendicular, but that's what we're going to use it for today. If you wanted to turn up to a shoulder or something like that, you might swing it around so the cutting edge is a little bit less than perpendicular, so you can machine up to make a square shoulder with it. Or you could use a different tool without the side cutting edge angle like this one has. Alright, next thing we need to do is we need to set the tool bit on the center line of the work. Right now it's a little bit high. You can't see it from this camera angle, so let me switch camera angles and show you how that's done. Alright, this is a little better view. Turning tools, in fact most tools on the lathe are set to the exact center of the part. Now if they're above the center, when you start using them, they're gonna rub on this front surface and give you a poor finish. If they're below center, if you're working out here on a diameter, they're going to want to pull the tool into the work. It's not a good thing either. So for the most part, all tools, let's just make a general statement here and say all tools need to be set on the center of the work vertically. Just this one has a little nib on it from the parting procedure we did on the last video, so I can use that to line up the tool vertically, just like this. Okay, next thing we're going to do is we're going to take a trial cut on the diameter, and we're going to set the dials on the cross slide. So let's switch camera views again and do that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a trial cut on this rough surface here. I know I have 1/8 inch to machine off. That's quite a bit of material, so I don't have to worry about going undersize. So let's turn the lathe on and just go ahead and take a trial cut. This is a little over 1 inch in diameter, and it's steel, so we're going to want to cut about 400 RPM thereabouts. There's also a video on that and a reference sheet on my website that shows how to. Oh no, there's no reference sheet, but there is a video that tells you how to set the RPM. So let's go ahead and set it up to 400 RPM. And figure out how to turn it on here. There we go. That's a lot more than 400 RPM. Let's slow her down. Okay, about there. So now we're going to want to just go in and just break through the surface of this scale on here. That's a good point. If you're machining scale, don't come in from the outside and try and cut through the scale like that, because all you'll do is dull the end of your tool bit. Come out here on the outside and feed it in beyond the scale. It'll be a lot easier on the tip of your tool. Alright, let's go ahead and take a cut on that. Just clean it up a little bit, just enough that we can measure with a micrometer. Okay, that ought to do it. Whoops. Alright, when you're done, don't move the tool bit like I just did. Let's do it again. Okay, when you get enough machine that you can measure, just stop the feed, shut the spindle off, and then we'll grab a micrometer and see where we're at. Got to have a starting, got to have a reference point. If we're going to turn to a specific diameter, we have to know where the tool is relative to the work. And that's what we're doing now. So let's get on it with the micrometer, measure it. There's also a video on reading the micrometer if you're unfamiliar with that. What we have now is 1.229. Okay. So 1.229 minus 1.125. We have 104 thousandths to take off yet. Alright, so now we have to, next thing we need to do is we have to zero the dial on the cross slide. Okay, right now the dial's not set to anything specific, so we have to zero it out so we know where we are and so we know how far in to go to move our tool bit to take the next pass. So let's switch angles again here so you can see the dial on the cross slide, and I'll show you how to do that. So this is the cross slide dial. We need to there's two ways you can do this now. We know we have 104 thousandths to take off. So either you can set your cross slide dial to 0 and then turn it in 104 thousandths to finish your diameter, or you can offset the cross slide dial 144 thousandths. So when you're two sides, the dial reads 0. That's the way I like to do it, because I'm old and my memory gets kind of short, and if I get distracted a little bit, I tend to forget the number. So this way, if I offset it 104 thousandths, I know when the dial reads 0, my part's to size. So let's do that. This dial is, one turn on this dial is 200 thousandths on the diameter. So there's 0 right there. Let's back it off 104 thousandths right there. Lock it down. Be careful you don't move the crank. We don't want to move the tool bit. That would lose our reference point. Lock your dial down. So now I move the tool off the work. Now if I move my dial in to 0, that's going to move the tool bit in 104 thousandths and to the right finished diameter. So let's go ahead and turn this part to the right diameter. Okay, so now we have our cross slide dial zeroed out. We know we have 104 thousandths to take off. Now is when you have to kind of know your machine. Okay, I know this lathe can easily take 104 thousandths off in one pass, but I don't want to do that. I want to take a roughing and a finishing cut. So I'm going to want to take like maybe rough a cut off at maybe 80 thousandths, and then move it in another 10. Take a cleanup cut on it and check it just to make sure that my dial's set right, and then I'll take the rest off. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to move in about 30 thousandths before 0 here. Okay, just as a roughing cut. Let's go ahead and take that off. I'm sure you guys all have safety glasses on. I know you'll hear a lot of that from me. Some people brush it off and they think, oh, I'm tired of hearing that all the time. Well, you know, it's real important. You don't want to lose an eye, especially lose an eye doing a hobby where you're supposed to enjoy yourself, you know, and relax a little bit. It can easily happen, so make sure you take proper safety precautions. Okay, so that was my roughing cut. Now let's take another 10 off. Here, let's take another 20 off. That'll leave 10 thousandths left for a finished cut. Alright, so by my dial, we should be 10 thousandths over size right now, which should make 100 or 1 inch 135, 10 thousandths over inch and an eighth. So let's check that. Okay, it's I must have bumped something because it's 1 inch 137. It means I have 12 thousandths to go, but that's okay as long as I know that now. It's better now than after you take a cut and find out you went a couple thousandths too far. Alright, so now I'll take that last 10 thousandths off. That's down to the 0 plus another 2. That should take us right to inch and an eighth. Okay, I'm also gonna put a little cutting fluid on this, and I'm going to speed up the RPM just a little bit so I can get a little better finish. And this should do it. This is just ordinary cutting oil. Make a nice finish on our part. Not sure what kind of steel this is. It's not too bad. It's even a pretty good finish. Alright, so let's check it. Final diameter. Hopefully it'll be 1.125. Okay, I don't know if you can see it. It's pretty darn close. 1.1245, half thousandth off. So that's about it. That's how you turn a diameter to size on the lathe. I don't know what we'll do next, but I'm sure I'll come up with something. See you then.